everybody for tuning in today. I have a quick video for you today. It's another tag video, a fun one. I thought this was a great topic and actually perfect timing because the original video I had planned for today, I did not get to yet to finish that. And so, but stay tuned for Wednesday. I think I have a new make, and plus the anniversary and summer nights projects are, you know, underway and finishing. So yeah, make sure you stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing, and don't forget to thumbs up this video. So I want to thank Main Course for tagging me in this video. And so yeah, let's go ahead and get started. There is called This or That Tag, and there's 4 topics, and then there's sub questions under each topic. So anybody who is watching this video, feel free to go ahead and do the video. If you're a content creator, go ahead and do the video. I am going to go relatively quick. As you can tell, I just finished working out. And so I thought, okay, this is absolutely perfect. Okay, so the first section of topics is called sewing prep, and the first question is shopping new or stash busting. So my preference is stash busting. Initially I used to just buy all of the fabrics, but then at the same time I get in moods where I'm just seeing things, I want to get it, or I'm thinking about a future project, and I do just get the fabric. If I see it, I'll just grab it. And so yeah, that is kind of where I'm at right now, where I try to see if I can just do what I need to do with the fabric in my stash, as you can see behind me here, or do I need something new? So it might depend. PDF versus paper patterns. Okay, so for me, for this question, the difference really is because PDF, I don't like taping patterns together. So I'm not taping patterns together. I do tape them together if I'm testing a pattern, and I don't have time to send it out to print and all that. Though that's usually the exception to the rule. But for PDF, I'm sending to print. PDF Plotting or Blue Cup Shop. Both of those places is where I would send them. So for me, there's really no difference between the two, because I'm not a tape and stick and all that together type of person. So to me, they're both paper patterns. One is just on the roll that I sent to the copy shop, and the other is inside the envelope from like the commercial patterns. Cutting versus tracing. I do both. So a lot of the commercial patterns I will definitely just cut into. Even if I'm gonna make adjustments, I'll just cut into it, and mainly because if I want it again, I'll get it again. And you know, I have, at least many of us have a nice healthy collection of commercial patterns. So for commercial patterns, it's like, okay, if I really like it, I'll repurchase it, like I did for Vogue A325 when it was re-released under a new number. I did repurchase that one because I really do like it. But some commercial patterns I don't intend to make again, and so it's like, what's the point? You know, I don't mind cutting into it. For PDFs that I have sent to print, depending on the pattern, I will trace it, especially if I'm thinking about doing something different with it or something like that. I will go ahead and trace it so I can make whatever changes I need to make to it, and the adjustments and all of that. But I would say 70% of the time I'm probably just cutting into, whether it's the commercial or whether it's the indie pattern. Muslin or go for it. So I have gotten back into doing more muslin, and it's more for fit, not necessarily and I go between. It's not necessarily for a wearable muslin, where, you know, sometimes making a muslin can be a little time consuming. It's like, let me just make it up, see how it goes, and then I'll remake it. But when I do that and I make a wearable muslin, if it's not something that floored me, I'm not making it again. It's a wearable muslin, and then, you know, that's that. But usually if I do a muslin, it's for fit, and I'm just doing certain parts of it. So if it's a bodice that needs to be lined or something like that, I'm not doing a wearable muslin. I'm just gonna I have the muslin fabric from Joann Fabrics or something like that, or some old bed sheets or something like that, that I'll use that just to test fit if I need to. But yeah, that is what I do. The second topic is fabric, in store or shopping online. Totally shopping online. There are fabric stores here in the Houston area. Is not as many, and so I find I am just drawn to online shopping. And heck, as of recently, as you all know, I've purchased from recently moved fabrics. So much fabric I purchased from. Then you all know I'm a brand ambassador for Minerva, so I get sent fabric from Minerva. Brand ambassador for Destashify, so I get fabric sent from Destashify. So I'm definitely an online fabric shopper. I do have a video with the top 10 online shops because I like wider width fabric, so I prefer shops that definitely have a nice range of wider width fabrics. So I'll leave a link to that up in the iCards. You can go ahead and check that out. I'll try to remember to leave a link to it down below as well. Knit versus woven. So I'm kind of half and half. I don't want a closet full of knit clothes. I don't care what my weight is. That's just not how I roll. I'm all about sew what you want at the size you are. So for me, I tend probably, if I look at my closet, it really is split down the middle. It just depends on what I'm making and what I'm in the mood for. Even dresses I've made recently have been a mix of both woven and knit. So I think I'm strictly straight down the middle. Rotary cutter versus scissors. Straight up rotary cutter. I have my cutting mats over here on my table. You guys have seen them, and I actually just changed my rotary cutter. Hold on, let me share. Okay, so I just purchased this one from Thread Art because it's nice and ergonomic, but I can lift, once I lift this up, the blade goes down, and so, you know, I'm cutting, and when I stop cutting, it retracts, right? I like that. I have another rotary cutter. So I have a few different rotary cutters because you all know I do make handbags, wallets, and stuff too. So I use a totally different pair of scissors and rotary cutter for that. But the other garment one I had was this Fiskars one where you lock the blade in place and cut. But what I was finding is this back part was always loosening where the blade was. And one time I was cutting and it because this loosened, the blade kind of shifted, and I felt like I almost cut myself. And so I used it for a little bit longer, and then you just press the button and snap it back in place. But I didn't like that, and so I still have it because I have a pack of blades that I have for this. I probably use this for, like, if I'm cutting out lining or something simple, nothing that, you know, I need to be applying extra pressure or anything to, because I found that to be kind of dangerous actually. Clothing construction is the next topic. So clothing construction, do you follow the pattern or just wing it? So for TNTs, I tend to just go in and I'm just, okay, I know what to do. I'll always glance over, depending on how long it's been since I made the TNT, I will glance over the instructions, make sure, you know, look at my notes to see if there was anything particular I wanted to stick to or do different, and I'll just go for it. Now, any new patterns I'm doing, I follow instructions all the time, and could be part of that as a career. As you all know, I've mentioned before, I'm an auditor, I'm a compliance manager, and so, you know, there's rules and regulations, but obviously with sewing, the difference is once you are used to doing something a certain kind of way, whatever the quote-unquote rule is, you can switch it up and make it more convenient, easier for you to do, so you can keep it moving. So yeah, and then if you all know I'm excited about getting into different design elements and different stuff like that, hacking patterns, and so definitely it's all going to be about, I have that Mimi G book. I'm definitely going to be following instructions on how to do certain hacks. And then some things, you know, in the future, I'll just start winging it. But I'm definitely follow the instructions type of girl. Bias tape versus facings. I don't like facings. I do not like facings at all. And so you all know, if you saw my video, I'll pop a link up here. I have created... So I like bias tape, but I have now started creating my own bias tape. Love it, both knit and woven. I have created. So I'll pop up a link to that because I share with you. I think I share both the knit and I know I shared the woven, but I think I shared the knit as well. Oh, love, love, love bias tape all day. Love, love, love. Serge seams versus French seams. For me, I love French seams. I just think it gives a beautiful, cleaner finish, especially if I'm going to be working with a viscose challis, a rayon challis, something like that that has a nice amount of drape to it, or like those dusters I made recently. All of those I French seamed, all of those, because a couple of them were kind of that what was it, like a charmeuse, that very delicate type fabric. Definitely French seaming that. And yeah, and I French seamed linen. Yeah, so I prefer French seams, but serging is what I do. I do a mix. It's just going to depend on the project. It's all going to depend on the project. And I like the French seam arms. I mean, French seam size, the arm side, waist, if there's a waist seam. Anything I can French seam and I feel like it, putting that effort in, definitely French seam. Button fly versus zipper fly. Zipper fly. I've only done one button fly, but I used snaps. It was the glissando skirt pattern that I did by Love Notions. I did a review for. I put snaps in. You could do buttons, but I think I would just prefer a zipper fly. I like the buttons, but that was on the skirt, so I didn't mind that. But the preference, zipper fly. Button by hand or by machine. I only know how to create the buttonhole on the machine. I have sewn the button on by machine before, but I felt like I needed to focus too much for that, so the needle wouldn't break when it's going back and forth. So I just prefer to sew the button on by hand. Fusible interfacing versus sew-in interfacing. Depends on the project. Again, you guys know I'm a bag maker. I make wallets and all that different type of stuff. So for in that handbag construction process, depending on the bag, you all seen my handbag collection. I'll leave a link to it here. Depending on the handbag project, you want to use a sew-in interfacing, and it just depends. And I make other things as well, so it's really going to depend, because you don't want some textiles in bag making, you don't want heat applied to it. You have to be very careful. And so I do have a heat press where I have used the heat press to press interfacing and everything down. And you can do it on faux leathers and the vinyls, but you have to be really careful. And so it just really depends on the project. But for clothing, fusible all day long. Who has time for hand sewing in interfacing? Or you know what, I take that back, I haven't gotten here yet, but say if you are doing a detailed constructed jacket that has those layers of, you know, kind of fancy interfacing, you might hand sew those in, but I'm not there yet. So right now I'm all about fusible for garment making. The last set of topic is, I think this was under cleaning up or whatever, your project and sewing space. The first question is snip as you go or all at once. I'm a snip as you go person. I cannot stand straggly threads and everything all over the place. And even as I snip as you go, you guys, by the time I'm done, I still got stragglies, but at least I have started the snipping process. Press as you go or all at once. press as you go. That is the best thing you can do, is press as you go. Though that's one of those, you know, rules, quote unquote, that I think is well worth sticking to, because then your seams are laying better as you go. If you need to nest seams together, the overall garment looks much cleaner, much better. You want to get those seams down and everything like that. So that's what I say, press as you go. Late night sewing versus daytime sewing. I'm a daytime sewer. Now here's the thing, I'm not a morning person. I say that, yet I get up in the morning early every day. So I don't know. I think over time I have started becoming more of a morning person. Initially on main course video, I said, oh, I don't like getting up in the morning. But I'm thinking that that's a lie. I think it's not that I enjoy getting up early in the morning, like, woohoo, it's early in the morning, let's go. But I think what it is my mindset and how I start my day. And because I get up, prayer, Bible study, I work out, and then the rest of my day is, you know, obviously the 9 to 5, and then whatever I'm working on for SewNaturalDane or for my other business, I can just, you know, I have the rest of the day. So that means also for sewing. And if I get into nighttime sewing, is only time I find that I'm sewing real late at night is if I am trying to hurry up and finish a project, like a project I just worked on where I stayed up till 1 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, that was just recent. You'll hear about that. That is the anniversary dress, the Bagley Mishka dress. Stay tuned. But anyway, slow and steady versus frantic sewing. So I agree with main course when she said she used to be all about wanting to hurry up and get through the project. Ooh, I got this, and let me hurry up, let me sew, let me get through it. I'm thinking now it's transitioning more to, okay, for the most part, I know what I'm doing. When I'm sewing, I'm not overly anxious about any project anymore. I've sewn the jeans, I've made a coat, I've done the thing. You know, it's more techniques I'm looking to learn. But if you've been following my channel recently, if you saw my Sew Let's Talk video, it's going to be, those things is going to cause a, you know, to slow down just a little bit, take a step back and think things through, maybe try some things, you know, that don't require it needs to be done and presented and everything. And by the way, speaking of that, I can say that I have been working on projects, and I think I mentioned this, that everything I make I don't bring to the channel, or it will be time has passed. And I have several projects right here in my closet that I still have not brought to the channel, and I need to. I have them, they're scheduled, my own personal schedule. I'm not held to anybody else's schedule, but on my personal schedule. So I'm kind of doing other videos and stuff before I actually present those. So anyway, tidy as you go or one big cleaning session. Tidy as you go, as I go, and then I do one big cleaning session. So as I'm going along, because again, it's something about stragglies and everything. And you all, I just shared my sewing space, and I love it seeing clean, it clear, and because that's just something in my mind, all this stuff all over the place and everything. It's just a cluttered room. I feel like cluttered mind, cluttered thoughts, can't think clearly, all that different type of stuff. So that's how I do. I tidy as I go, and then I do one big old fell swoop, because stuff still be all over the place, like if I got chunks of fabric and stuff, you know what I mean. And then I think that's it. That is it. So all right, everybody, let me know your thoughts. Go ahead, if you are a content creator, you want to do this tag, go ahead. It's called This or That, and it has 4 sections, different topics to address. I think that is it. Stay tuned for Wednesday's video. I thank you everybody for tuning in today. Thank you again, main course, for the tag. You all have a blessed start to your week, and I will be back on Wednesday. Bye.